absolutely despise that my fiancé thinks he is a comedian. I am 28, he is 31, and I am currently trapped in a heavy fiberglass leg cast after a brutal, terrifying car crash. Before the accident, we were an unstoppable team. We actually met at a dive bar open mic night 4 years ago. I was the only person in the entire crowd laughing at his terrible, nervous set. I quickly became his secret weapon, the one who wrote his sharpest punchlines and helped build his brand. But the second I lost my income and gained a mountain of medical debt, he completely checked out. He clocks out of his day job at 5, heads straight down to our soundproof basement studio, and records his live comedy podcast with his buddies until 2 in the morning every single night. Last Friday, my leg was throbbing in pure, blinding agony. The pain meds were barely making a dent. I asked him to just skip the podcast for one night and sit with me for 10 minutes. Instead, he handed me a bottle of extra-strength sleeping pills, kissed my forehead with this fake, pitying smile, and said, "You really need your rest, babe. I have to go entertain the fans and keep the lights on. But I swear I will check on you later." It sounded so sweet, so incredibly caring. He tucked the blankets around me, turned out the bedroom lights, and locked the basement door behind him, so the noise wouldn't bother me. But the pain was too bad, and I couldn't sleep. So I opened the smart home app on my phone to turn down the hallway thermostat. That is when I noticed the basement intercom was accidentally left broadcasting. I pressed the audio feed, and instantly, his warm, charismatic voice was in my ear. One of his co-hosts asked how my recovery was going. My fiancé groaned loudly into the mic and said, "Bro, she is so depressing to be around right now. I'm actually keeping it casual with this new, younger girl from the comedy club. But I cannot officially dump my fiancé until her cast comes off. If I leave a crippled girl, the internet will completely cancel me. I have to wait it out, pretend to play nurse so I don't look like the bad guy." He literally wanted credit for staying, while he mapped out his exit strategy, perfectly timed around my physical therapy schedule. I didn't shed a single tear. A cold, sharp, venomous rage took over my entire body. I grabbed my heavy metal crutches. Every step out of bed sent a shockwave of searing pain up my spine, but I did not care. I limped out of the bedroom and dragged myself to the top of the basement stairs. Thwack, clink. I dragged my heavy cast down those wooden steps, one agonizing step at a time. I could hear his podcast stream, totally live to over 3,000 people. I reached the bottom, grabbed the studio door handle, and shoved it open with my good leg. The heavy door slammed violently against the drywall. The entire room of grown men totally froze. My fiancé went dead pale, staring at me like he had just seen a ghost. The bright red live light on his expensive camera was glaring right at me. I limped right past his terrified friends, walked up to his microphone, stared dead into the camera lens, and said, "Hey chat, just a heads up, he isn't waiting for the cast to come off. We are completely done right now." Then I looked down at him, leaning in close so the mic would catch it, and whispered, "I always wrote your best punchlines, babe. Good luck writing your way out of this one." Before he could even stutter out an apology, I reached over and yanked the main power cord straight out of his mixing board. The stream died instantly, and the basement plunged into total, deafening, heavy silence. I slowly turned around and began the agonizing, painful climb back up the stairs. He didn't say a word. He didn't even try to follow me. And as I laid back down in the dark, packing my bags in my head, and listening to the muffled, chaotic panic of his friends below, I realized the absolute hardest part of this whole nightmare wasn't the broken bones. It was the haunting realization that the man I loved that was the biggest joke of all.